good, everybody? Thank you all so much for clicking on the video. I really appreciate it. We are here today to talk about the Braxtons, Season 2, Episode 5. And the name of the episode is called The Queen and I. Now, listen, sometimes the title kind of go with the episode. But in this episode, who was the queen? Who was the queen? It damn sure wasn't Towanda, okay? Listen, y'all know Towanda has been getting on my nerves this season, and I said that I wasn't going to talk about anything that has to do with Towanda, and here I am covering her wedding shower, okay? So that's what the episode started off with, okay? So let's just go ahead and get into the review, okay? We are at Towanda's Bridgerton wedding shower, and Towanda is upset because all of the women weren't there on time. Then some of the women ended up showing up, and Trina is the only sister there. Okay, now the men ended up showing up. Sean and Vaughn were there along with other men. They was all dressed up and they participated, and so that seemed fun and nice. And Towanda kept saying that she was so happy to have a man like this, which is Sean, girl. A man like what? A man who didn't have enough courage to go ball with you when you got alopecia and he had to go get a wig? A man who was sitting around while you had to borrow $35K from your sister to move into a house, but he also laid his head? For me, y'all, I just don't trust Sean. Sean doesn't seem like a genuine person to me. He seems like someone who, when I see Sean, it's something about him that makes me think that he thinks that he's the prize in the relationship, right? I don't doubt that Towanda loves him though, but I just don't feel like I'm seeing it being reciprocated from Sean to Towanda. Okay? Now back to the shower. They're playing wedding games. Sean has some gifts for Towanda, and one of the gifts was her favorite perfume.
Is that it?
Is that it? You gifted her her favorite perfume in her bridal shower? You couldn't give her that at home? I would be so embarrassed if my fiance did that to me. And I know it's the thought that counts, but goddamn, you couldn't think to give me this at the house? I'm in front of all my homegirls. You know, they expecting to see Toni Braxton here. They expecting to see Tamar Braxton here. And so I'm pretty sure they see me getting the gift. They will be expecting a diamond ring. You gave it to me at the bridal shower or the wedding shower, right? A new car or something. You gonna give me some perfume? Girl, no. Anyway, Towanda ended up giving all of the women in attendance small Birkin bags. And Towanda, this is the thing that I'm finding myself appalled about. Towanda gifted 28 women small Birkin bags, but you don't think that you need to give Tamar her $35,000? You don't think that you need to give your sister $35,000? Girl, I'm telling you, baby. Okay. Next, we got Tamar. Tamar is rehearsing. So remember, she's going on tour with October London and Ro James. And the name of the tour is called the October Nights Calling All Lovers Tour. And Calling All Lovers is the name of her. Officially, it was her third album, but it's the second album she had after Love and War. I just have to break that down. I feel like everybody wants to get so technical, but majority of people consider Love and War Tamar's first album because she was pretty much a nobody before the Braxton Family Values. And I don't mean any disrespect when I say she was a nobody, but she was just one of Toni Braxton's sisters. You get what I'm saying? Nobody could really tell them apart, probably outside the DMV. She didn't really have an identity. So people consider Love and War her first album. But it's actually her second album, and Calling All Lovers is the third one. But I consider Calling All Lovers her second album, okay? She said that she didn't get a chance to really promote Calling All Lovers because around that time she had blood clots. But of course, listen, I listened to the album. I love the album. And I've always said Tamar's Love and War and Calling All Lovers are R&B masterpieces. And Tamar didn't really say it, but I think that she hinted towards it. She probably feels like that she brought R&B back. She just didn't have the balls to say it on the Breakfast Club when they questioned it. I've said this, and I will continue to stand on this. Tamar is the best singer in the family. I believe Tamar is one of the baddest girls today that can pick up a mic.
Point blank, period.
Now, all of her performances, perfect? No. But again, I give grace to people when they're singing live. Now, from this album, I do remember her performing Circles on the Wendy Williams show because she was sitting on the piano. And then I remember her performing King on The Real. And she was also sitting at the piano at The Real too. And I remember her, they put out the Christmas album around that time too. And I remember they performed Mary, Did You Know? Or something with Mary. I remember they performed that song. I feel like the song that she did, King, on the Calling All Lovers album, could have won an Oscar for Best Song. It just sounds like a Disney song. I can't really pick a favorite song off the album, but I definitely think that Tamar should have received at least a Grammy nomination for Best R&B Vocal Performance on the song Raise the Bar. If you really listen to, if y'all get a chance, just go on YouTube and listen to Tamar Braxton Raise the Bar. She really showed out vocally on that song. But I just don't think that she gets the recognition because of her antics. Her antics hold her back. And the issue is her behavior. I tried to put so many people onto Tamar's music and they just refuse to listen because how she is portrayed in the media and her antics. And it makes me wonder, should Tamar have quit reality TV once she dropped Love and War and just focused on the music? Because at that point, she had her name out there, and so we could focus on making you an R&B superstar, or maybe a superstar if she probably would have went another lane. I just don't see her being an R&B superstar, right? Because I feel like, unfortunately, with R&B music, there is a ceiling, which is why Beyonce tried to go pop, and you know why so many Black girls try to go pop. With R&B, there's kind of a ceiling. But I think that, you know, it worked for Cardi. She was on reality TV. And she stayed there for a little bit, then she left, and she has became a superstar, but not really K. Michelle, right? Is K. Michelle singing? Yes, but I don't think that she gets the respect that she wants because of the reality TV stain. And some people probably never forgive Tamar because one of the things that people hold against Tamar is how she treated her family. Again, Cardi B was on the show with an ensemble cast that she wasn't related to. Right? But when people see how you treat your family, they're going to hold on to that. So it could be, reality TV can be a blessing and a curse. Okay. We got Trina. Trina is back home in Atlanta doing real estate, and she's looking to sell a home to Faison Love. You a fat Faison liar. Every time I think of Faison Love, I think of him beating up that man at that car rental place. I remember Wendy Williams showed that back in the day. Faison Love was at the airport and he was at the rental car place and he ended up beating up a guy at the rental car place. You know that's Big Worm, okay? I said this in another video. Tavia said that after Toni, Trina has the most money out of all the girls from the Braxtons. And it's so funny because people will rather believe what they read online instead of a person who is acquainted with them, who has worked with them, and who has viewed their portfolios. Right? You would rather believe what people will put online instead of a person who actually have access to them. I don't think that is a slight at Tamar or a slight at anybody else, but just because Tamar is a singer does not mean that she has more money than everybody else. Tamar may not be is business smart, right? They said that Trina has a studio that people don't really know about, so she has done well financially, okay? Evelyn and Towanda ended up stopping by Trina's office, and Miss E's just playing dress up at this point. I'm wondering what Miss E is thinking about all the drama that is happening between the girls. But she probably wipes her hands with it. I remember an episode of the Braxtons when Towanda and Tamar got into it after, this was the episode where Towanda had hit those glasses on the table. Tamar and Towanda was getting into it before that, and Miss E told them to either fix their relationship or leave each other alone. And I remember Trina going into the confession and Trina was saying, I'm surprised that mommy said that. I'm surprised that mommy said that too. But it's always a lot of bickering between them. But Towanda said that she noticed that Trina hasn't been present, but she has been present. I said that wrong. She noticed that Trina has been present, but not present. Meaning, I know that you've been here, but you're not really here. And she asks what's going on. And Trina shares that Vaughn has congestive heart failure. And she says that she found out in Tulum, but she didn't tell her because she didn't want to ruin her day. And Towanda said that she understands, but you could have told me. Towanda, no, she couldn't. Have your moment. That was about you, and she did what she was supposed to do. It was about you have your moment. You don't need to be thinking about it there, because I feel like, truthfully, nobody really cares about Towanda, but some of that is Towanda thought, and we'll talk about that later. I will say this, looking at Trina, especially in this scene, I am worried about Trina. Trina does not look well. You can look at her and tell that she's going through something, and I'm wondering if she's still going through what she explained last season when she said that she wanted to be in the room when Tracy took her last breath, and Towanda told her not to, and she's dealing with it. She's dealing with the death of Gabe, and no matter what he did, you just can't turn your love like that off for somebody. And I'm pretty sure that she's struggling with that, having to bury a partner, and then or a man that she loved that helped her raise her kids. She's probably mourning him, right? And then also being in that room with her sister, and also losing her sister. She seems like she's going through a lot. She seems like she doesn't look well. And I'm really worried about Trina. Okay. Toni, she's having her show in Miami. And so she ended up flying Trina and Towanda out to Miami to celebrate Towanda's bridal shower and her bridal trip that she missed. The truth is, that's what Toni wanted to do anyway. She didn't want to be around them other people, and I can understand why. Listen, Toni Braxton is Toni Braxton. She's a superstar. She's an icon. She has an image to uphold, and she can't be around everybody. I can understand if Towanda had 5 or even 10 girls there. Towanda had 28. 28. She had 28 women there. How do you expect Toni Braxton to come around and let her hair down around 28 bitches? Because even around the 28, and I don't, mean no harm when I say bitches, but even amongst the 28 women, you can't even ensure, you can't have your eyes on 28 bitches making sure they ain't asking for an autograph. Or Toni might get drunk and pull a titty out or something. You get what I'm saying? You can't ensure that everybody not gonna have their phone out. You can't watch 28 bitches. You can't. And so I'm not mad at Toni. But the thing about it with girls like Towanda who feel like they've been overlooked, when they try to do something, they do the most. They do the most. So, she never had a wedding before. She gonna do the most. You gotta have 28. 28. Damn. Okay. And even with Toni, you have to watch the company you keep, because even when Tamar was on that Love and War tour, I remember if y'all remember correctly, Toni Braxton was at the show, at Toni's Love and War show. I mean, at Tamar's Love and War show backstage when Krishan I don't know if Toni was there when Krishan punched James in the mouth and knocked out his tooth, but she definitely was there when Krishan there, because I remember Toni looking at Krishan like, baby, who is this bitch? Let me get up out. You get what I'm saying? Krishan was off the chain, and see, that's what I'm saying. You got to watch the company that you have, because if Krishan had touched Toni like that and knocked out Toni's tooth, I would have been looking for Krishan myself. Okay. Towanda didn't go to the concert. She said that she was tired, baby. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. I call bullshit. Towanda didn't go to the concert because Toni was turning something that was supposed to be about Towanda into something about her. That's what she did. She was turning something that was supposed to be about Towanda into something about her. But the thing is, she would never put Toni in her place or buck the system with Toni and tell Toni how she feels like she do with Tamar, right? And my thing with Towanda is she would have did better by sending a clear message and by not coming to Miami at all. But that's the problem with Towanda. The problem with Towanda is that she can be bought. And Toni and Tamar know it. Toni had no intentions on going to anything Towanda had planned except for the wedding. And I'm surprised that she showed up to the wedding. Right? Toni knows that all she has to do is throw a couple of dollars towards Towanda and all will be forgiven. Right? The same thing with Tamar. Tamar knows all she got to do is throw a couple of dollars to Towanda and that'll be forgiven. Because on the first season of the Braxton Family Values, Tamar said that she bought Towanda that car and Towanda was upset. They was in Ontavious' office. Towanda walked out of the scene. Okay, and she was getting off the elevator and the camera was following her and she waved the camera off. She was upset. But then you turned around and asked her to borrow $35,000 again. What did you think was going to happen? You set yourself up, Towanda. And you just got to be honest, baby. The 35K, it wasn't a gift. It wasn't a gift. Who is gifting people 35K? But the thing is, Tamar knows that she can do and say whatever on camera to Towanda, because at the end of the day, Towanda is going to need her for something. And if she throw a couple of dollars her way, all will be forgiven. And to me, I just feel like some things money just can't buy. And especially, specifically with Toni, you can't miss no important event from me and just throw some money in my face. And Towanda didn't show up to the concert because she's hurt. But she will never tell Toni that. She will never tell Toni that. But again, Towanda girl, 28 girls, I feel like that y'all need to sit down and have a conversation about what's going on. Because 28 people, Towanda, I'm not coming either. I'm not coming either. Okay? Toni ended up doing her show, and she asked Trina to come on stage and sing "Breathe Again" with her. She surprised her, and Trina came up. The thing about Trina is always there for all of her sisters. She's always there for all of her sisters. So it's hard for me to believe that Trina was not there for Ashley. And I hate to say it, it's hard for me to believe that she has always been consistently there with her sisters. Even when all of the girls will go against Tracy, when Tracy stayed on the show, Trina was the only one who said, I understand why Tracy did what she did, and I'm happy that she had her moment. So I like to go and look at a person's character and their history. And the fact that Ashley didn't tell me that Trina told her, I think that you was initiated stuff with my husband and you ain't innocent. The fact that she never said that Trina told her that was something that she felt, her feelings could be wrong. Now, is Trina wrong for getting back with Gabe? She is wrong. But I do believe that Trina would have did whatever she would have done for Ashley if she needed more. Or if she would have told her that she needed more from her. I honestly believe that. Okay? So Toni surprise for Towanda. She set up a yacht trip in Miami for Towanda and her and Trina to go on to. And it was a nice setup. Toni was late. The diva that she is, she was late. But they couldn't even really leave the dock because it was too windy and the captain said it wasn't safe. So they ended up going to Mr. Charles instead. Okay? Now, the last two scenes of the episode, it was Trina, Towanda, and Toni at Mr. Charles. And then Tamar at Fresca, some type of Italian restaurant named Fresca. You know, Fresca I believe it means strawberry. I believe it's strawberry in Spanish. But everybody, all of them are lying except for Toni. Okay? Towanda is adamant that she doesn't want Tamar at her wedding. Okay? She said the abuse from Tamar was verbal, then it got mental, and now that it turned physical. And Toni was like, girl, when did it turn physical? And she was like, she threw a glass of water on me. And Toni was like, I didn't see that. I missed that, baby. That's because it didn't happen. That's because it didn't happen. Now, did Tamar slap a glass of water in Tawanda's direction? Yes. But no water got on Towanda. Tamar was not trying to hit that girl with that water. Tamar was trying to show out and cause a scene. Let me tell you, I know a bad bitch when I see one. And I know a bitch that's trying to get at a bitch when they're trying to get. Mia was trying to throw that water on Wendy on Real Housewives of Potomac. And I know she was trying to do it because she reached over Karen to do it and it drowned it Wendy. It got right in her face. And how I know that none of that water got on Towanda, because if that water had got on Towanda, Towanda would have called the police. She wouldn't have been telling Toni to press charges. She would have pressed charges her motherfucking self. Okay? Towanda is saying that she's not willing to accept that behavior anymore. But I don't think that Towanda is mad about the water. I think that she mad at Tamar because Tamar threw that 35K out there. I believe that that's what she's mad about. She's mad about that 35. She ain't worried about the water. The water didn't touch you, girl. You just had to go get your thoughts together and come up with an excuse for you to be mad. And you mad about the 35K. I'll be mad too. But girl, if you that mad, girl, you should have, instead of getting them 28 little bitty Birkin bags for your guest, you should have did. I'm pretty sure that's worth 35K. And you should have gave the girl her money. You should have gave the girl her money. Them girls didn't need no souvenirs. Them girls didn't need no souvenirs. I guess you had to pay them something because they thought that they were going to have a night with Toni Braxton. Anyway, Trina says that Tamar says that she hit her. Now, Trina, I didn't hear her say that you hit her. She said that you put your hands on her. Now, hitting somebody and putting your hands on somebody is two totally different things when we fight. And again, I don't think that Trina meant anything by it, but she did put her hands on Tamar first. Okay. Now she is saying, you know, at what point do I start defending myself? Immediately. Immediately. As soon as she would have started putting her hands on me in a violent manner, I would have been defending myself. I would have been defending myself. Girl, you can trip and fall. Girl, everything don't heal like the same way no more. Girl, don't put your hands on me. Don't put your hands on me. But Trina, you touched her first. You touched her first, okay? Toni is the only one who took accountability for her actions. She took accountability for her actions. She said that she was upset that she let herself get to that point, or that she let herself get upset. And some of y'all were saying in the comments, yes, Tamar was up in Toni's face first. However, at the point that Toni didn't get up when Tamar was in her face, it's water under a bridge. We start anew, right? You can't let Tamar got up in her face. Toni was still sitting down. 20 minutes later, Tamar can't say, Toni can't get up and be like, well, you got in my face. No. It don't work like that. It's water under the bridge. Okay? Toni suggests they should have a talk with Tamar, and Trina is still willing to have a talk with Tamar, even though she pulled her hair, kicked the stump. You get what I'm saying? All kind of shit she was doing to her. Towanda is not. Okay? Then they get to talking about the cease and desist. They said that Tamar is mad because she was served the cease and desist. And now we go to where Tamar is at. Okay? Tamar is trying to explain her point of view. Tamar did blame her sisters for her getting a cease and desist. She said that she pointed at them and said that they tried to serve her, that they served her a cease and desist, and they tried to shut down her business. Okay? What they are not showing is that the line is moving, because I'm pretty sure, like Trina said in the confessional, she said at the table, our names are not in this cease and desist. And Tamar went from blaming them for the cease and desist to now saying that they gave the paralegal her address, right? And then went to saying that they put it at the door when she started trying to weaponize Logan, which we also know now is another lie, because the paralegal said that he did not leave it at her front door. He left it at the concierge downstairs. So nobody left nothing. And she just trying to weaponize stuff, right? So she knew that her sister, she tried to blame her sisters for the cease and desist. They told her that they didn't have nothing to do with it. And even after they told her that they had nothing to do with it, even after she tried to blame it on the them putting it on her door or them giving them the address, she still was accusing them after the fight. She was saying, y'all bitches jealous of me. That's why y'all tried to serve me a cease and desist. Now, what I will give Tamar is this. If Tamar is trying to say that, yeah, y'all got Michael to serve me the cease and desist, now I can stand there with her. I definitely believe that. Do I believe that all of them played a part in that? I don't know that. But I definitely believe that Trina and Michael had Tamar served a cease and desist with Trina's name out of the paperwork. I definitely believe that. If she would have said that, I will agree with that. But Tamar did not say that. That's not what she's saying. Okay? I think that some of y'all are Team Tamar because y'all sympathize with her with Ashley, and y'all think that she's trying to be a good auntie to her niece. And I understand that, but that's not the catalyst for the drama between these sisters and Tamar. Tamar is the toxic one. And I'm not saying that the family is not without fault, but Tamar literally falls out with everybody and plays victim. She does, and that's just the truth. There hasn't been one person that Tamar has had a relationship or friendship with that she did not fall out with. Okay? I don't think that Tamar came on this show to heal. I think that Tamar came on this show to line her pockets, just like the rest of her sisters. I do. Okay? Tamar explains the fight. She said that Toni got up like she was on the Housewives of New Jersey. She did though. She said that Trina pushed her and then she grabbed her hair and then she made it seem like she hit her girl. And Tamar, you wasn't doing all that, baby. You was looking sloppy in the process anyway. Okay? Tamar says that she always comes back to help them. Tamar is talking like she Toni Braxton. What you mean you came back to help them? Tamar comes back and shoots the Braxtons because she can't get a reality show with herself alone, right? They did Tamar and Vinx. That got canceled. She will be able to do, and I think that Tamar is a great reality star with her sisters. She will be able to do, like she could do the College Hill show. She could do a show like that, or she could do like a show where she'll have one season like Celebrity Big Brother, but she will never do a show like the Real Housewives of Atlanta because she would get her ass whooped. The things that she do and play with her sisters, she would never do that amongst the Real Housewives cast. The things that she was over here doing with Trina, could you imagine if she was getting ready to fight Phaedra and Portia tried to break it up and she pushed Portia and told her, don't put your hands on me? It wouldn't have happened, baby. It wouldn't have happened. Okay? But, that was the episode. Listen, I know that Towanda is hurt, but I still believe that if Tamar showed up to her wedding, I still don't think that she would have Tamar removed from the premises. I don't think that she would do that. But to be honest, I don't blame Towanda. I don't blame Towanda. Sometimes you just got to cut people out your life. I don't think that she's mad that Tamar tried to throw that water at her. It was a $35K. But Towanda, you put yourself in that predicament. You should have never asked her for the $35K. She already threw the car in your face. She's going to do it again. She's going to do it again. Okay? But y'all, let me know what y'all think in the comments. I really appreciate the love and support. Thank y'all for clicking on the video, and I'll see y'all later. Adios.
Call daddy, tell him 25. Call daddy, tell him 25.